I'm here. I'm just waiting for a couple more people to get up in here. That's all. All right, I'll give it one more minute. Just give it one more minute.
The LA County Medical Examiner identified 15-year-old Celeste Rivas as the person who was found dead at a Hollywood tow yard in early September in the trunk of singer David's Tesla. The medical examiner is still trying to determine the cause of her death. Family first reported Rivas missing in the Lake Elsinore area in April of last year. Her mom posted this flyer on Facebook asking people to share it. She said she was desperate and worried for her daughter who had gone missing. After learning news of Celeste's death, family returned to their Lake Elsinore home today. Her brother told NBC News that he was aware that his sister knew the singer David. Matthew Rivas said when she went missing, she was on her way to see a movie with him, but never returned. Matthew went on to say, quote, she would leave with him and he would drop her off in that same vehicle that was supposedly abandoned. After the teen was found dead in the Tesla, his spokesperson told NBC4 Investigates, quote, David has been informed about what's happened, and although he is still out on tour, he is fully cooperating with the authorities. As of now, the LAPD is not saying any crime has been committed. In a statement today, the department said, quote, at this time, the LAPD does not have a crime classification from the coroner as to the mode or manner of death. Thus, we do not have any suspect information at this time. In Lake Elsinore, people are grieving because they have now learned Celeste is dead.
Good evening, good evening. Good evening, good evening. I'm your host with the motherfucking most. Chill motherfucking Murray. You are now tuned to live from the spot. Shout out to everybody tuned in, not tuned in. You know how we do and how we rock. Scott Child, what's going on, my brother? What's going on? I was just letting it marinate. I was just waiting on a couple of minutes. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to give it a minute. I wanted to give it a few minutes. I like to let everybody get up in here now. Sometimes you can't just start it right away. So I was like, you just give it a couple minutes. In a couple minutes. How's everybody doing this evening? Happy Thursday. Friday Eve is what they call it, right? Crazy, I was looking at this picture. And I said to myself, damn, that's the upside down anarchy sign. Anybody familiar with the anarchy sign? I bet y'all didn't even think about that, right? Put two and two together with the anarchy sign. So I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, so that's how his logo is. I'm like, man, it says the anarchy sign. Oh, he just all out in front with it. So we go from, having the type of lyrics that we have, romantic homicide. You have a record named after the girl. You have videos of you dragging women to the trunk of a vehicle. Well, dragging people to the vehicle, I should say, not women. You dragging people to the trunk of a vehicle. You killing yourself and shit in videos. It's just a lot, man. Like I said, lyrics upon lyrics, like, it's just not looking good with you, man. It's just bothering thing on top of bothering thing to me. And yes, we're going to get right to one particular thing because I noticed there was some bots in the comments. I noticed there were bots in the comments. I want to start directly from there. So it came to my attention that there was some Jason Ween fan. Funny how that's on my timeline, right? So the crazy thing is, right, that's probably the most viewed new video that I put out. That video that I put out about Jason Ween knowing more than he knows is more views than the pod itself, ironically. Now the crazy thing
You're not gonna believe what.
We don't need to look at all that. The crazy thing is, I ain't say nothing. Well, I said, what's the title say? Jason Ween knows more than he's saying about David. That's all it says. That's all it says. And that led everybody to go this. Look. Shout out to the Mind's Eye. Shout out to the Mind's Eye for noticing two of the bots was up in the chat. Or in the comments, I should say, look, drama farming. I don't know what drama farming is. I don't know what drama farming is. I guess you're not familiar with what my content is, sir. What are you, sir? You didn't have anything. 2 subscribers. Okay. You have some legitimacy. 376. You play the video game, though, don't you? I don't even understand. You have a cat with cigarettes and fish with cigarettes. Okay, that says enough.
Yeah.
That says enough there. Yeah, these were, now this particular person I did respond to. Shout out to Nate Official. He had a very particular good comment. It says, when the news first came out, I literally thought the exact same thing Jason said. It did sound like he was being framed at first. We all agreed with that part. Like I said, I definitely like Nate Official's take on things. Because he didn't just go to try to bash and defend Jason Ween, as well as he took upon himself to articulate his own actual opinion on things. It wasn't just a bot response. So I knew his was an actual comment. But then you have like this one here. Bro, he really cut ties. Okay, so this one was a real comment. I know it was. Bro, he cut ties with David after more evidence came out. Yes, very true. He did cut ties with David after everything came out. My whole thing was, it wasn't about him cutting ties with David. It was when he lied about saying he didn't know David like that. When there is, as you just saw on the front of my timeline, I ain't click on nothing yet. I ain't look up nothing. There's stream after stream of you and him spending time together. There's multiple music videos that you and him have made together. On top of him inviting you out at Coachella, then he was about to invite you out on tour. So you can't tell me that you guys don't know each other. That was my hops. That's why I felt the need to say, I think you knew more than you know. Whether or not you do or don't, I am allowed to form an opinion on certain things, as we all are. Just like you're able to form the opinion of you don't think he did it, you think he was framed. Cool. I'm allowed to also think that you possibly might have seen Celeste, whether you did know or did not know it was Celeste or not. I'm allowed to think that you might have seen Celeste. I am also allowed to think that, like I said, you have been around him more than you say. Whether or not you have or have not, I'm allowed to say you possibly may have been around him more than you say, considering you said that you only just met him for a dinner and a live stream. Wrong. We've seen multiple live streams as well as multiple music videos you've made with him, including the 9-hour live stream you made of the video you made with Pokey. On top of the long live stream you did where he had the bonnet on, there's another one where he had just an afro and a chain on, where you sat down and again made music with him for the first time when you met him. On top of the summer video you made. Don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. And then like these little, like I said, these bot comments, get some clout, you need it. I don't need clout. Give a fuck about clout. Give a fuck about clout. What is this? 37 subscribers. What is this? 24 here. No one cares about what Chill Murray thinks. Oh, no, okay. That's fine. That's fine. Someone saying amen. I agree with that. Amen. Amen to this. But, like I said, that's just my hops on things. Again, it's not that I'm saying he had anything to do with it. Never said anything at all about he had anything to do with it. I just think he might know more than what he is saying. And of course, to save face and because he might be scared he wouldn't be investigated and so on and so forth, I understand. Trust me, I understand. I understand why you would want to stay far, far away from this, given to your success with streaming. Clap, clap. So, on top of, so even though Jason and Ween is not necessarily confirmed seeing him, or should I say seeing them together, who is confirmed seeing them together would be the neighbor. The neighbor has been seen as the neighbor has asked him about his Tesla. So this is from Times in India. This is a reliable news source, of course. This has been going around. Hollywood Hills neighbor explosive revelation about David Celeste Rivas. A neighbor of singer David's rented Hollywood. Should I get that ad out of here? I hate this a broad ad over here. I hate how YouTube act. Oh, I can't move it anyway. Let's do this. Maybe it'll change the ad. I don't know. I just don't like how they act with the Kanye joint. When they had the dolls up with Rihanna, just her titty was out. I was like, yo, come on now. All right, so a neighbor of singer David's in Hollywood Hills home has now come forward and revealed seeing the singer and Celeste Rivas weeks before Rivas' body was found in David's discarded Tesla. The case of the dead teen who remained missing for a year in her relationship with 20-year-old singer has taken an ugly twist as all evidence pointed to the singer's role. I knew it was going to do that. The singer's role in Celeste's death. As the community, people are demanding justice for Celeste and raising questions as to why the singer is not yet arrested. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. A neighbor told The Sun he knew about the couple, though he did not know that David was a singer. So he had pretty much seen them, but he thought they were just a regular couple. But he confirmed seeing David with Celeste pretty regularly at the rented apartment. So he did recognize the actual girl. He did recognize David. He also confirmed that he spoke with David about the Tesla where the remains of Celeste were found, as the Tesla was hit and he never fixed it. So there was a slight accident in the Tesla before. They never. So they were quiet. Never saw them partying. Neighbor revealed that David and Celeste were quiet, and he never heard them partying. I didn't know he was a singer, but I knew he had a Tesla, as it was always parked outside. He was with the girl regularly all the time. I last saw them a couple of months ago. I'm not sure, but I thought they were just kids, like a couple aged 18 and 19. So he thought she was about 18, 19 years old. I guess because she was a little bit taller for her age. Remember, there was always a joke about her being taller than him, I should say. I had no idea. It's crazy, the neighbor said. I'd be in my car, and we acknowledge each other. I say hi. That was about it. When they were heading to the store or whatever, or wherever, I did ask about him. I did ask about his Tesla, as his car was hit and he never fixed it. He didn't really say what happened. He said, adding that David was polite but not really chatty. The neighbor said he didn't realize that the girl found in David's car was Celeste, but he recognized Celeste from her picture. And of course, and then asked, why is David not arrested? Like I said, I asked the same exact thing. Now, before I get into the payments, supposedly a liquor store owner had actually seen Celeste not too long ago as well.
And dies. Among those who desperately want to see this case solved are her neighbors in Lake Elsinore. Our producer found this memorial that they have set up. Her
Black
neighbors,
Lion, what's going on?
Those who loved her in this town, maybe some who didn't even know her, but love her in death and want justice for her. This is the street where she used to live, and this is the growing memorial that has been built to honor her in death. It's also the street where presumably her family still lives, so likely they are seeing this on a regular basis. We do know tonight that Celeste's remains have now been released to her family, and that her family is planning a funeral for her on October 4th, presumably in Lake Elsinore. The fact that her remains have been released right now, that is striking, because the LA Medical Examiner has not announced, quote, the mode or manner of death. Police are treating it like a homicide. But if there's any evidence that actually proved it's a homicide, they're not saying so. They're not saying anything. So again, we took our cameras and our crew to Celeste's hometown, and our producer shot this video of the scenic part of where she grew up, so you can see how beautiful this town is. The views are spectacular. I mean, look at this. It's sort of surrounded by mountains.
Now, I can't let you do that. I cannot let you do that. Reason why I say that is for the simple fact that it's not as hunky-dory as she's making it seem. I'm just saying, it's not all hunky dory as she's making it seem. Let me see if I can get like a street view here real quick. That's really what I want to get. I want to give y'all some just some street views of what we talking about here. Let me see if I can give y'all what I'm talking about here. Do do do. All right, street view. All right, we in Lake Elsinore. I'm gonna take y'all through Lake Elsinore real quick. You wanna go on a magic school bus trip real quick? We can go through Lake Elsinore real quick. All right. So we're on Terracotta Road. So we would be on the nice side of town. Now, you know what they always say about California and LA specifically, right? Is that you can be in the suburbs in one spot, and then down the block you see nothing but the hood. Right now we're in a nice part of town. And then we go down. We said we in the nice part of town. That's the part they trying to show you, right? Like I said, that would be the nice part of things that they show you, right? I believe that's where the lake is, right? But what if you live towards this way? Things start to look a little different. Things start to look a little bit different, don't they? Like I said, they could show you on the news, you know what I'm saying, one part of town, but there's other parts of the town where it ain't so hunky dory. And you can literally tell it ain't so hunky dory. Is my whole thing. So, again, you can show me the hills and the nice side of town. But I am from the hood, okay? I know when there's other parts of town that somebody come from. And if she lived in the nice part of town, I don't think she would have ran away so many times. It's my whole thing. Now, let me see. Where in Lake Elsinore? Before I continue that, is Celeste. What street was it on? What street was this memorial on? Okay, right. What street was the? I'm trying to find out what street the vigil was on. Okay, 1400 block of Bluebird Avenue. Bluebird Avenue. Okay. see something. Is there not a Bluebird Avenue? I didn't say Bluebird Drive. I said Bluebird Avenue. Is there not a Bluebird Avenue? Why are you taking me to Bluebird Way now? Just 14. I know. This said Bluebird Avenue. Why I don't see Bluebird Avenue? Well, that ain't Lake Elsinore. That's not Lake Elsinore. Why are they trying to do that to me? All right, let's just do this then. Let's just go back. But you get what I'm saying, though. Yeah, it's a known area for human trafficking. So I'm like, those, you know what I'm saying, those nice ass part of towns, I'm not gonna look at that as, just the urban rich part of town that they trying to show the news is my whole thing. That's what I'm like, it wouldn't be the hood that they described it as in the Reddits or the neighbors that described it as if that was the case. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't see the gate that I saw if that was the suburbs.
See in existence. It's about an hour's drive from Los Angeles. So, yeah, I guess you could commute. Lots of people do. Or you could just decide to live in a quieter place like this. But we now know that Celeste didn't want to be here. She went missing from this town at least 3 times, beginning apparently in January of last year. That time, sources say she was discovered by LA police a month later in the Hollywood Hills, where David took up residence in a very expensive rented house beginning in February. Celeste also ran away in March, and then again for a 3rd time, the final time, in April. We know from a missing poster that was circulated back then that police were on the case. But you would think after the first incident, when they got her in the Hollywood Hills and brought her home, you'd think they'd know where to look when she took off a 2nd time, and then a 3rd time. When Celeste was in Lake Elsinore, she hung out a lot at this store. It says liquor store, but it's actually a liquor and convenience store, and the school bus actually stops right by it. So our producer decided to pay a visit and stop by to take a look, because this location is key in this case. It is key in Celeste's story, because it's one of the last known locations where Celeste was seen before disappearing the 2nd time in March of 2024. And it is also the place where her family came looking for her. The owner of the store remembers seeing Celeste often and reportedly gave her family video from his security cameras during one of the... Can you show us your video? You're going to hear a lot more about what was on that video in just a moment, so stay right where you are. And I want to be really clear about one thing, okay? It has not been definitively proven that David and Celeste ever met at all, though online videos and pictures and chats and conversations and live streams, they sure seem to prove and show otherwise. What is definitively proven is that Celeste had a boyfriend named David, and that the singer apparently had a girlfriend named Celeste. Let's also remember that David has not been charged with any crime. David has not been named a suspect. David has not even been named a person of interest. And no one that we know of is in Entourage has been named a person of interest either. Mum's the word on all of it. But man, do I have questions. So earlier today, I reached out again to a colleague at TMZ, and TMZ has owned this story right from the outset. So here's some of my latest conversation with executive producer Charles Ladebaudiere. So I was so excited when I saw some video that purported to be video of potentially Celeste in the balcony at one of his concerts over the summer, which would have given us some timeline. It just didn't seem to pan out, though.
Yeah, I get why people online were really into this video. And
Now, before they get to that, right? My whole thing is this, right? Do you see how freely they was even talking about the fact that she was able to just walk around at that age? This is what I'm talking about, where y'all they keep trying to show us the suburbs and shit like that. It's no way that gas station is gonna be in the suburbs. You see what I'm saying? They saw her frequently walking around that little spot in that little area. And then the last time they saw her was in April, when they saw her walk down and get into that car. See what I'm saying? And then being at that age with no supervision, nobody around, this the shit I'm talking about, where they trying to show you the hunky-dory side of things. But in all honesty, it is what we already looked up before, where we know that Celeste's parents lived in poverty. We know that her parents lived in poverty, and someone was talking about it before, where this is kind of common in a lot of Spanish families, so to speak, where the daughters aren't necessarily safe sometimes in these young poverty in the, yeah, let's just say it like that, in more the low income side of things. So you'll hear stories about molestation. You'll hear stories about what happened with Celeste, where they're prostituted out. Remember what they was talking about before, where the sister was prostituting her out? When we read about that, the sister was pretty much pimping her out already. We're going to read about a conversation they even had about Gus that you guys are going to be like, wait, what? Yeah, it's... what we talked about before, it felt, compared to what I've seen today and yesterday, it feels like we've only touched the surface of the darker layer to this shit, and it's fucked up. Like it's fucked up.
thought that this was going to be critical to the investigation. There is this woman, the video is David in concert from, it's either August 23rd or 24th. He had two shows in Silver Springs, Maryland. And there's a woman in the balcony who he actually acknowledges, looks up at her. She certainly could have been Celeste. It looked like it. And a lot of people immediately latched onto this. But we have been told by a source that is connected to the case that it is not Celeste, and therefore it doesn't do what we hoped it would.
Yeah, they probably won't show it here, but even if they do, like I said, it's just the footage of him performing pretty much, and he goes and turns and looks up and does like half a heart with his finger, and the girl kind of does it back, and he's pointing up at her or whatever. And it's a girl that looks very similar to Celeste. She has the long curly hair, the tube top, and a bracelet and a necklace on. But it look, like I said, it looks very similar to who Celeste would be. But they're saying that that's not actually Celeste. But when you look at the actual, like in 4K, you're like, all right, is it?
Right? That if this actually were her, then we would know that she was killed within a roughly 10-day period. At some point during those 10 days would have been when she was killed.
There is rampant speculation and theorizing and conspiracy theories online, and a lot of it has to do with pictures that people think are Celeste. And it's really clear to me that there are several different people in his world that look like her. For instance, the video of one of the songs has a girl who looks exactly like Celeste, the same hair, and it is not her. Her credit has a whole other name at the end of the video.
Yeah, we, that was when we saw that rumor online. We looked at that video one day and broke.
Well, of course, she's not in any music videos. I hope they're not that green. I hope they're not that naive about it to think that there's a Celeste in the videos. I doubt he's used her in any music videos. He's used her in songs. We heard her vocal in a song, but we definitely didn't see her in any music videos. Those are just lookalikes of someone that could be that. Those are lookalikes of Celeste. Let's just say that those are lookalikes in his mind, inspirations of that's what you could say, reference and inspiration of Celeste.
It down, we watched it backward, forward. We slowed it down. We froze on it, and really, people looked at it for a while and they're like, it could be, it could be her, but yeah, it's look. You have a Latina young girl with curly hair, and immediately everyone goes, "Oh, that must be her. That must be her," because everyone is wanting to make links here, and like that's what happened with the video from his concert. Look, it's just hard to tell, and the reason normally we can verify these things because you can speak to someone who knew, you can speak to a family member, you can speak to someone who was at the event, and those people have not been coming forward. And obviously, some of her family members, her brother, spoke to NBC here in Los Angeles, but not on camera.
And very early on.
And very early on. So it's just hard to find these people.
You know what, Charles? It's giving Idaho 4 vibes because the entire University of Idaho shut down. Kids wouldn't talk. And that's not normal in our line of work. Kids always talk, especially teenagers and older teenagers and 20-somethings, they talk. But in Idaho, nobody, the police, the city, the university, the parents, everybody was locked down by the police and by the administrators, probably for good reason. It certainly preserved the prosecution. This might be what's happening here, that the players involved have been locked down by the police and told, do not speak.
Yeah, it could be. It could be that. It could be that they are getting, legal advice from someone telling them, aside from the police telling them that they shouldn't be talking about it. We did get one person to talk, and this is not a family member, but someone who knows the family. We spoke to the owner of a liquor store that is on the block, same block in Lake Elsinore where Celeste and her family lived. And he told us he was very familiar with the kids in the neighborhood because the school bus stopped right in front of his liquor store every day, and kids would come in, not for liquor, but come in to buy.
Like, bro, does that look like does that look like the suburbs to y'all? You see mobile homes in double wides and one-story ranches.
Soda and candy and things like that. And he said that back in March of 2024, at a point when Celeste was missing, her sister came into the store and asked the liquor store owner, "Hey, have you seen her? Do your security cameras perhaps have any footage of her?" He told us that he went back at the sister's request and he did look. And on March 19th, 2024, he did see her in front of the store, go across the street and then down the street a bit and get into someone's car. He said by the time she got in the car, it was out of focus of his security camera, so he couldn't tell what kind of car it was or who else was in the car, but he did see her. What's interesting about that is that it's the first time that we've had a report of a family member actively doing something, searching for her. We know that she went missing several times early in 2024, between January and April. But we were always curious. We talked about it a few days ago, like, why wasn't the family doing more to try to find her?
Let me ask you about the shows in Australia. There's still tickets available. I thought the entire international, this is weird, thought the entire international tour, domestic tour, everything was canceled, but they still have tickets for December.
Yeah, it is very puzzling to me, and I don't know if that's just optimistic that David and his management are hoping that by that point, this is all going to be cleared up and he's going to be free to leave the country. They clearly didn't feel like that was going to be the case for his European tour because they canceled those dates in October and November. What can you read into that, right? Can you read into that David has told them, I'm not guilty of anything and this is all going to clear up, so don't cancel those December dates. We just need to let the investigation play out. Perhaps that's what's happened. But it is really puzzling that they have not canceled those dates yet.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will.
Jesus, that got louder. But yeah, I doubt that. I doubt they're going to keep the December dates. That's one thing. Two, if an investigation still does play out, he's going to get an arrest somehow. There's just too much evidence pointing at him. It's not just that it's evidence pointed at him. It's also evidence pointed at, Josh Marshall, the manager, because it was rented in his name. The home where the Tesla was even parked at, the same Tesla at that. That's the crazy part. The same Tesla, like we showed when we looked up down the street. It's the same damn Tesla. Same Tesla. The Tesla's also rented out to Josh. They ain't rented out to David. It's in David's name. But just like the house. Shit rented out to Josh. And now the neighbor was saying that they don't necessarily have any camera footage. They don't have ownership of the camera footage. They gave all the footage to Josh and David. So the little 2 cameras that you saw out front, all that camera footage belongs to them. And now they pretty much done flee the home, so they're not even there anymore. God body, what's going on? So now they're pretty much not even there anymore. They pretty much broke a $20,000 a month lease. And the owner couldn't figure out why or whatever. He never really had any questions or anything like that, but, he just kept the privacy of the tenants that were there. So now we can move on to the actual. So we ran across, and I'm gonna let Trafalgar Ross speak a little bit. We ran across actual payments. We found actual payments. Like, remember we saw before it was just speculation from the Reddit's posts. The ladies that were speaking on it were saying that they were receiving $10,000 a month. They were receiving $10,000 a month. Now we got actual confirmation of the $10K a month via. Crazy part is Celeste herself supposedly making jokes about it. It gets deep. I'm gonna let Trafalgar Ross speak on it real quick, and then I'm gonna show y'all exactly the posts. Because like I said, this shit is wicked. It gets wicked.
18-year-old and turned a blind eye. Do not give these assholes more money, people. Man, that's crazy. And it's too late. They already reached their goal. They already made their 20K. All right. When she said she gets paid 10K weekly, I remember the screenshot he posted when she texted him asking for money and sent 9K. Yup, that David posted himself sending Celeste the $9,000. Now, this is a very interesting point, all right, because this is something that's been going around a bunch, all right? And someone had a theory on why he might have sent $9,000 instead of $10,000. The SAR threshold explained. It says if that screenshot where Celeste asked for $10,000 is true, David may have given her $9,000 to avoid setting off something called a suspicious activity report. People who work with money know that when someone moves $10,000 or more at once, banks are required to file this report. A suspicious activity report or SAR document banks send to the government when they see transactions that might look like money laundering, fraud, or other crimes. Once the report is filed, it stays on record and can lead to more attention from the government. That is why many people try and stay under the $10,000 limit in a single transaction. Wow. So this is Apple. Apparently you can only send up to 9,000 on Apple Pay. This is David saying the same thing. Somebody said, where's the last band? And he says you can't send more than 9,000 on Apple Pay. People saying that's 9, not 10. Let's go band for band right now. All right. Someone saying good thinking if true. This also brings me back to the idea that someone had to be helping this guy get away with this.
That would be this post here that we found on the Reddit. Yes, David's account there. Where's the last on that? Where's that right here? That's David answering pretty much. Where's the last band? So you can't send more than 9 Apple on the pay. And someone says not 9. That's 9, not 10. Let's go band for band right now. Someone says your music is gone. And say this is on the. There's actually 2 David Reddits that he actually made. Crazy how he's leaving this bit of evidence behind as well.
see him at 18 to 20 being smart enough to think of that on his own, you know. Seems like someone knowledgeable and probably older than him told him how to get away with making hush money payments, especially considering how immature he seemed. I just believe that there was more people who knew about this situation and were facilitating this. People saying, oh, he definitely wasn't alone in this. There's so many people connected to the case. I feel like we kick one of the biggest hornet's nets in.
Your car insurance.
Which is very true. Which is very true. I feel like they kicked one of the biggest hornet's nests in a long time, which this is one of the biggest hornet's nests to actually kick, because we're talking about human trafficking. We're literally talking about human trafficking here.
Okay, this one's spicy, all right? It says, I haven't seen anyone mention this, so maybe you guys would know, but how is she even able to accept that money in the first place? Her parents would have to know, right? She's underage, no bank account, not old enough for an ID. I doubt she had a joint account. Even if she did, her parents wouldn't see a random $9,000 in their account and question it at all. I might make a post about this because that was the first thing on my mind when I saw the screenshot, and I have not seen anyone ask what I'm asking. People said agreed. They said he might have opened up a card in his name and loaded funds on it for her to use. People saying, I read you can't send more than 9K on Apple Pay over iMessage, but I've never done it myself. All right.
All right. So, real quick. So this is more confirmation, all right? Delete a user. Oh, so we're thinking this one is Celeste, right? Remember before we delete a user was Celeste. Says, oh, and then someone else was just randomly talking about something right here, bro. I swear to God, my parents gotta appreciate me more than everybody my age on drugs, vapes, or drinking every weekend. Deleted user goes, he could stab me. I would say sorry for getting blood on him. I swear to God. He could stab me. Someone was asking pretty much who. And he goes, he just so scrumdiddlyumptious, this man. And people were thinking that was Celeste there. But more confirmation, like I said, of the payments here. So this is the original article where it came from, them talking about it. Now here it goes down here. There's another part right here that we're talking about. So let's see. This guy's a weirdo. A close friend's little sister from Lake Elsinore ran away last year, and this is who she was with. We think her sister was pimping her out. She was in 7th grade at the time. LAPD sweeped his place in the hills. I'm terrified. That's who's in the car. Nobody has heard from her in months. I won't release names as she's still a minor, but she was from Lake Elsinore. Whoa. Hope this is not the case. I strongly doubt this is true. He has a very public social media presence and there's no one underage in his, I don't know what that thing was here. In his real crew? I guess it says his real crew. I've only heard good things about David. Okay, so this is just a little blurry little comment. Someone pretty much don't really know him. It isn't speculation. It literally happened. I don't really care if you've heard nice things about him. That has no impact on my personal negative experience. So someone actually was able to confirm that the sister, again, was, like I said, pimping her out. And then look at these messages down here. Look at these messages down here from them. This is the sister's account. So this is the sister right here in the dark ones. I'm just going to check up on you. I don't want to talk to anyone, Celeste says. That's it. Okay, yes, of course. But you have to swear you're going to stay safe. Are you still going to talk to David or go back with him, because I don't want you to get into any more trouble with him? Celeste goes, I'm safe. Then she goes, no, I'm not. Sister goes, okay, I love you. I'll text you in about a week. Don't delete Insta. Love you too, and I won't. That's between the sister and Celeste. The sister knew exactly where Celeste was. As you can see here, the sister, the older sister, knew exactly where the fuck Celeste was. Now sister going, I made it. It can, and now she's going, Celeste is going, it can bleed and not bleed during sex because you probably did it when you were younger. You don't have to bleed anymore. I didn't because I wasn't horny. You said you bled. What? I thought I did, but I just got my period. Now look into this. I only bled with David. Sister goes, Now listen to this part. Remember the Gustavo Morales guy? With Gus, I was just drunk and did it because he got mad at me the first time for not having sex with him. I'm not sure what this picture is down here. I wish they would have had the actual picture of that, whatever that was down there. But as you can see here, Celeste even confirms about what happened with Gustavo Morales. In the rape there, pretty much she was drunk and didn't want to get him upset. And the sister, of course, as nonchalant they was talking about it, of course the sister knew. And we're talking about she was, let me see, 1999. Trying to think. She would have been 15. So when was Gus? She would have been 15, 2025. Wow. Yeah, and Gus was born in 99. So he was even much older. Yeah, Gus was already 20. Yeah, Gus was 20 when she was 10. I'm just doing the math on things. Gus was 20 when she was 10. Gus is long gone and dead now. Now here goes this right here of Celeste joking about the payment. See what it says down here? Can I please have 10 bands? David, can I please have 10 bands? And as you can see, the sneakers, that's Celeste over there. David there. And she's asking again, David. Like making a mockery of the 10K pretty much, unfortunately. I said, this is all alleged here, of course. How many racks can I have? Look at this. How many racks can I have? Give me 10 bands right now. Cash App 9,000. I can't stop falling for her. This is David's account again. I'm 1,000 short, but who cares? Now, of course, we already confirmed why he was only able to send 9K. It was only because Apple, as you can see, is the Apple right there. Apple only allows you to 9 without things being a little bit suspicious. So, of course, now you're doing something shadow where you're only sending a certain amount. So this is where I'm saying remember I said before of a who you're working for type of thing. That's a business transaction, of course. At the same time, I'm saying to myself, who taught him that he can only send a certain amount, especially that type of money? You've only been famous a certain amount of time. Who's teaching you this type of thing where you're only sending a certain amount of money to where they don't want it to be tracked? You see what I'm saying? You're only sending 9,000, so you don't send 10,000, so it's tracked. You see what I'm saying? It's little shit like that you got to pay attention to. Who taught him that? Who taught him that in particular? Like I said, this is where things start to get a little bit nasty. Things start to get a little bit nasty with this one. How nasty, you say? They found the mother's Facebook.
Okay, so this update in regards to the David case is very alarming to me, but it looks like some users on Reddit have found the account of the mother, Celeste's mother, and now the account is locked. But before it was locked, it looks like screenshots have been taken, and a lot of these messages are extremely alarming. Hey guys, it's Rob Raleigh, daily and consistent content. Do subscribe to the channel and please pay attention to this video because everything that is about to be said is very concerning and interesting. Sad. Yeah. This is really sad, what I'm about to say. But anyways, let's get into this, where when we look at Celeste's mother's Facebook account, she says, "First God, my daughter appears soon, and may God protect her, enslave my anguish I have for my daughter." And then somebody states in Spanish, "Amen." And then somebody below says, "Because you don't really pay attention to what's going on." And then somebody below that called Anna says, "Because this is not important to her." So to me, I do believe that any public portrayal of "I miss my daughter" is performative. That's basically what these people in the comments below her are implying as her Facebook friends on her personal Facebook account. It's been confirmed that this is her Facebook account because numbers that have been published also match the numbers on the missing account of Celeste.
I didn't realize my mic was cut off, so I'm so sorry. All right, so what I was saying is, Glow Taylor, what's going on? Peace and blessings to you. Peace and blessings to you as well. Kind of crazy how the mother's Facebook is also locked, right? So you have to understand how David has different social media accounts or different accounts in general across different platforms. As we just saw how even Celeste was sharing accounts with him, right? Just little things like that tell you that he was actually privy to having these different accounts around and how to move in the shadows and do these negotiations and things like that. Because notice how the mother was just acting all nonchalant, like she didn't necessarily know anything and all this time. And they saying like, "Yo, we've been hitting you up for months about this shit and you still ain't even respond to us yet. You haven't responded to us not one time about this. So explain to me how you're not able to see any of these posts about your daughter and people are even letting you know about these. You're supposedly looking for your daughter for all these months, but you weren't really looking for her. Then the GoFundMe looks a little funny. Where you guys have already received the 20K and now you're talking about go to the PayPal and all this, but then you're putting these little different links in here. It's looking like someone else is running your page for you type shit. You see what I'm saying? It don't look like you actually care. That's the whole thing about this. Even if you don't necessarily know how to use this technology and someone's doing it for you, cool. It doesn't look like it's any type of empathy or, you know what I mean? It's no type of remorse or regret for what happened. Not even regret, just it's no type of grieving. It even seems like. It just seems like blank. You know what I mean? Like I said, like someone else is running the page for her like a business almost.
And so this guy, Carrillo Alex, he posts a WhatsApp picture. In this WhatsApp picture, you can see that these are the messages. And in English, it translates to, "Good evening, Miss Mercedes. I told you 12:28 a.m. that I saw a few hours ago he arrived at a particular airport in Mexico. A plane with a group of young people. The young girls are brought for the white dealers.
What do you say? I ain't hear you. What'd you say? The young girls are brought for the white dealers. Good evening, Mrs. Mercedes. Looks like it's 5 a.m. No, 12:28 a.m. Excuse me. It's 12:28 a.m. It's midnight. I told you 12:28 a.m. I saw a few hours ago he arrived at looks like what airport is this? Ciriola. Oh, it's in Mexico. Okay, it's just the whatever this is. I can't see what the I can't make out. It's blurry right here. It's Calatian something, but I see Sorolia International Airport coming from McClellan Palomar Airport. Like he said in Mexico. A plane with a group of young people. 12:33 a.m. I saw the young girls are brought for the white dealers. A young woman comes within the group, and it says her name right there, Celeste Rivas. She claims to be his daughter. We ain't making this up. Not only did the sister know about Celeste, the mother knew damn well where Celeste was.
A young woman comes with the group. Celeste Rivers, she claims to be, his daughter. So this airport, I believe, is also an airport that can be in a dangerous area. Specifically, the part where it says the young girls are brought for the white dealers. So I do believe that somebody like Celeste was somebody who was trafficked by organizations and multiple people. And I believe that David was just one of those people who was easier to grab onto Celeste. But other people are as well, because there is...
Hey, New Eyes, what's going on with you? But like I said, this is just more evidence of what we had already uncovered, that Celeste was human trafficked. This is just more confirmation of it. Chum, calm down. What's going on? This is just further more confirmation that Celeste was human trafficked. Now, I should pull up that as well. I probably will before we get out of here. Because like I said, it's going to be a short pod. But we also uncovered when we was looking at the channeling of what happened to Celeste and why she was human trafficked. It wasn't just she was human trafficked for the sex. It wasn't that she was just pimped out for that. She was actually organ doned as well. She was chopped up for her organs. Remember how they said before this had something to do with Selena Gomez and Billy Blanco? You know what I'm saying? Then it connected down to Kanika, who they found in the freezer back in Chicago. It also was like a we call it. So it crazy how the dates lined up, right? So supposedly September is when Celeste was killed, right? Sometime in September or before September, a little 2 weeks in between August and September. Then if you look, September, what was it? I think 17th or something like that. September of 2017. Excuse me, September of 2017. In fact, let me look up the dates. I'll look at the dates right now. I don't want to be wrong. So Selena Gomez transplant. I'm gonna keep this up. I might as well get into that in a second here. Okay, so it's just crazy how they connect, and how Celeste Spirit said these two things connect. So check it. Kanika Jenkins was a 19-year-old woman from Chicago who was found dead in the latch freezer at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Rosemont, Illinois on September 10th, 2017. Selena Gomez underwent kidney transplant in 2017. September 2017. She got the kidney transplant. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the connection with why Celeste Spirit said it was like a 10-year anniversary with the ritual. But we literally heard that with the channeling. We had literally heard that with the channeling. I remember that specifically. Do you think anything to do with Selena Gomez getting the kidney transplant a few years back? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's literally what we was looking at. But when we looked at the channeling, when we watched the video of the channel, I'm gonna play that here in a second too. I'm gonna play that here in a second too. Where they literally there's another lady that actually went through into the channeling, and Celeste Spirit literally was saying different things to the machine. Especially if you know how, like I said, these organ transplant things go with human trafficking. I'm gonna let this finish real quick, and I'm gonna look up that video real quick.
Isn't much parental support around Celeste, unfortunately. There just isn't. And because of the fact that there isn't enough support around Celeste, it's easier for anybody to try and find her and groom her, traffic her, or, you know, put her to places. My ring light just went off, guys, because my ring light is sick of this conversation. My ring light is so disgusted with this video that the ring light decided to just go off. The right ring light just went. We're going to keep rolling for this video. So these are images, but guys, that have basically been placed onto the Facebook account, and there are more, where the mother posted, now private, a photo of Celeste and a man, and the family members below were commenting about how cute Celeste and her boyfriend was. What kind of mother would be doing this? Do you understand? The mother is publicly saying, oh, please return my daughter. People below are saying, well, we've been trying to tell you, but for some reason you just don't care. You're not responding.
As well as you know exactly where Celeste is. You allowed her to go to the movies with David. You allowed her to spend time with David. You've been getting paid this whole time for her to spend that time with David.
Showing you these messages for the fact that she was in Mexico, arriving at a specific airport with white dealers, and this is who she was for somebody, and that, you know, somebody else arrived with them, and that this is the person who's claiming to be your daughter. Like, what's going on? Hello. Celeste could be one of the many dots, one of the many children who was part of an organization that was transported illegally around places. And the other people are saying she's not responding to you because she just doesn't care. It's not important to her. How is this not important to her? Something is fishy with this damn family. Do you understand? David could not be doing this alone. He could not be doing this alone, and Moji isn't the only other person that is helping him. I definitely believe the family is in on it in some kind of way. I know that can be seen as quite insensitive because right now they're probably going through it with the fact that Celeste has been confirmed dead in that car. But I just feel like to get to this position where she was so unprotected and so vulnerable, the family had something to do with this. Either they were accepting money privately, and, you know, that money was a large amount to keep themselves quiet, and they must have thought, well, David is 18, 19. David is not a grown man. Even, you know, he's not in his 50s. Therefore, it's okay. This is probably how they thought about the whole situation, to process it, to take the money. And then you have multiple people in the mother's accounts telling her, this is where your children is. Why don't you care about your child? This is what we've heard about your child. What is going on? Why aren't you responding to us? Why aren't you responding to us? It could be a possible chance that she would reply to them in the private, you know, Facebook chat. But I genuinely believe that wouldn't be the case because the other person came to co-sign it. And I feel like these are contexts and clues for how this person behaves. So, you know, could she have been trafficked by multiple people, organizations? I believe so. And I believe that this is just a very extended conversation. I don't even think the police are going to be looking into that. The police are only going to be looking into David, and for the fact that, you know, multiple of his...
That part. That's the part that fucks me up every time I do this. Is that the police aren't necessarily giving a fuck about that part of the conversation of the white dealer at the airport coming to pick up the girl. Because it's $150 billion business. That's why. It's that part that disturbs me.
Laptops and phones and etc. were wiped and taken from his residence. At that point, I think that David definitely wiped everything. I believe David has wiped a lot of stuff. For the fact that he apparently has removed multiple people from the main Reddit account and he now is the sole moderator, clearly goes to show you that he's been reading everything that people are saying online, trying to control the narrative, pretending that there's only one moderator left when it's him.
That was the picture I was trying to find that day of Celeste with the little blue wig on. The same wig you saw on his Instagram where he was at the doing the at the Comic-Con.
And he's locking everybody out to the point where they have to create separate groups because everybody in his main Reddit group has turned against him. I do believe that David wanted to be infamous for this conspiracy theory of the fact that whether he took the life or not, and that people would look at David and be saying, well, wow, his music was actually so dark, or wow, his music is really dark. Did he do this? Did he not? We will never know. And it's like a trance that will pull in people to listen to his music and question whether he did it or not. It would only be placed as a conspiracy theory, and because it's a conspiracy theory, it won't go anywhere else. He did not expect this to go so far to the point where Interscope Records have publicly pulled all promotion, his brand sponsorships have gone down the drain, and tour dates have been cancelled, and people are genuinely calling him a pedo and a murderer. He didn't expect it to go this far. He just wanted to be infamous for a conspiracy theory that could help bring up fame, in his name. How much fame that would bring, I don't even know, to be honest with you. Not short-lived in my opinion, but I think he wanted to live for this because he puts it all in his songs and he wants to pretend like he's some artist. And there's so many people out there who want to pretend they're artists when really and truly they are freaks of nature. They're absolutely creepy, freaky, weird people, and unfortunately it's not normalized to tell people that you are a freak. Like David is a freak. That is an example of who I would call a freak of nature, and it's masked as artistry, and they're able to carry on to the point where they end up harming somebody's life, all for the influence of just art, or for the influence of lyricism, poetry, music. And really and truly, people need to normalize to tell these people that you are a freak. Half the people in his Discord knew what he was doing. Only 1 or 2 people would say to him that this person likes kids, instead of just saying that this person is a freak. It's very similar to the P. Diddy case that I've been documenting on for the past couple of years, where children are not safe. The children are not safe.
Now, speaking to that, right? That's another reason why people need to understand why there's not going to be an arrest for any time soon. Number one, it's a long-going investigation. Number two, the same way, even though this is a murder, right? It's an actual body found, right? It's still, as far as trying to prove that this person such and such did it, or there's an organization behind this and all that. If anything, it's going to be at least another 5 to 6 months. Remember, they took almost an entire year to even attempt to tell Diddy, hey, we're going to come arrest you. It took almost a year for that. So I think it's going to be at least 3 to 5 months at the least, 6 months at the most, before they actually say, hey, we're going to arrest David. Unfortunately, by then, he might even be long gone. Or my other theory is I think they're going to off him and make it look like he offed himself. That's my opinion on that. I think that they're going to off him and make it look like he offed himself, or he's going to do it himself. Just by the symbology in what he talks about. I'll elaborate on that a little bit more. We have more information to get into, of course. So, again,
every single conversation when it comes to stuff like this, the moral of the story is protect the kids, protect the kids, protect the kids. Stricter parental control, especially when it comes to electronics and when it comes to contacting, 24/7 parental control, especially parents of today, with the children of today growing up. You need to be on them like hawks, because anybody can go through whatever electronic device they have and basically put them in very uncomfortable scenarios. And so protect the kids is always going to be the moral of the story when it comes to me, when it comes to this channel here. Because I was not protecting myself at all, and unfortunately I went through a very vicious cycle, being trafficked and doing kind of kink work for much older men, and doing very dark, seedy stuff for them, because they would either give me substances and I was unaware, or some videos minors of me, some or not, and then my also
see, he's speaking from personal experience.
situation blew up into a scandal and everybody got upset with me, but nobody got upset with these grown-ass men who were, doing things to me when I was at the age of 16, 17, 18, 19. And it is very disastrous, because had I had protection at the time, it would have prevented me from living that dangerous life and doing those things for quick money so that I could escape being R-worded. Had Celeste had that protection in her life, she would not be dead right now. So this is why the conversation always comes down to protect the kids. There also are no such thing as perfect victims. I'm not a perfect victim. Celeste ain't no perfect victim. Do you understand? She obviously put herself in bad situations. I put myself in bad situations, and that you have to hold yourself responsible for, to say that, you were wrong for doing so. But at the end of the day, you don't know better. The person that you're with, the grown adults, they know better, and they know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to find young boys and girls to exploit them, especially poor, broke, young boys and girls, to exploit them, to use them, to abuse them for all of their needs selfishly. And the young person has no idea. And Celeste had no idea what David was doing. I had no idea initially what some of these men were doing. And even when I did, you either had a choice or not. You either get beaten up or not. Or even if you do have an idea, you still have to hold yourself responsible in order to grow and become a better person. What I'm saying is that I can mirror myself with multiple of kids who turn into adults that are not protected, unfortunately, because there aren't organizations that are there to protect children. They say they're there to protect them, but they're really not. And it's just an absolute shame. It's just diabolical. You can even read up on my whole scandal, doing all of these things for these grown men, and these men are in their 40s and their 50s. I'm like a whole minor. I'm, in my early 18, not 19. And yet, there's no conversation for why these grown men put young boys and girls in these exploitative conditions. And they're doing so because they can. They can exploit you. You're poor. You're broke. You're running from some kind of abuse. So therefore, what can you do? We can trap you. We can do whatever we want with you. And in some cases, like Celeste, they can delete you. How I didn't get deleted, God is good for me. But, in Celeste's case, they deleted her. David deleted her because there was no space to protect somebody like her. And she was so incredibly young. She's missing from dating this man from the age of 11, missing from the age of 13, past at the age of 15. What a life of torture, because nobody is there to protect these young boys and these girls. The fact that so many people were fans of David, this particular man, and he was dating this kid and nobody called them out. I'm telling you, majority of those fans are probably other, boys, men, which then leads to this kind of misogynistic society, incel culture. All of it is related and linked. I done went off on a whole tangent all over again. I keep doing this, guys. I keep going off on a whole tangent all the damn time.
Well, like I said, he was speaking from personal experience. That's why I was just letting him vent, because, like I said, for him to even just come out and say that, yo, I went through the same thing Celeste went through, except that I didn't get killed. He was pretty much doing things for money. Because when you come from that type of neighborhood, when you come from that type of upbringing and that type of life, that you have to do anything for the dollar to feed yourself because your parents can't afford to do it, you know exactly what that is. You know what you have to do. You don't necessarily think it's morally right. You don't care if it's morally right at the time. And even there's times where, when you're young and dumb, those type of things are exhilarating. Because you're thinking that you're getting a name for yourself, things like that. You know what I mean? You get excited with the I guess you could say you get it's more of how can I wrap myself around it without but with still being a little bit sensitive to it. So because you're young, dumb, and naive, you don't necessarily care about the consequences. You just care about you just care about the excitement of the time. So your energy is up. The tensions arise and you get a kick out of that. But at the same time, you're only doing it because you have a goal that you have to complete with this money, whatever it is, whatever fixation you have, whether that be a certain drug you're taking or a certain love that you have for someone. Do you get that? Whether it's a drug you're taking or a love you have for someone. Or a love for a love drug, I should say.
I don't know how we done went to all of this. But anyways, it all connects, it all relates. Sorry for rambling. Do subscribe to the channel, guys, if you guys wish to. The Facebook account is where we started this conversation. I don't know where the hell we ended it, but please do subscribe. It's just...
But yeah, that Facebook account says a lot about the mother. Now, speaking while we're on the subject, of course, because we were starting to talk about Selena Gomez and how this even related to Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco, right? So I'm going to play this video here of another reading that Candace Dyer did.
Babes, hello. You are watching Paranormal Justice with me, Candace Starr, and today we're going to be trying to reach out to Celeste Rivas Hernandez to just see if she can give us her side of the story in her own words. So let's just jump right into this. Vinay, Kanika. Can we speak with Celeste Rivas Hernandez? Celeste? Hi. You need my help? I'll definitely help you, baby. Yeah, I got you. What do you feel you need help with? You said, I did a channeling session with you. You did amazing.
That one in particular stuck out to me. A Mason asshole. Now, whether or not she was talking about David specifically is what I was trying to figure out, because was she trying to refer to different ones that were around, or was she talking to David or talking about David specifically? Was she talking about different Masons that were around, or in general was she trying to say David was one? Because remember, before we saw how the blindfold, even though that was an alter ego character he was talking about before, we already know about that shit with the duality and whatnot, right? With how celebrities do that shit. That was apprenticeship, what he was doing with the blindfold. That was a Freemason apprenticeship. Now, I found her. Kept her shoe. Now, the kept her shoe part, right? I don't remember them talking about that before when they said that they found her body, that they found sneakers, right? I remember specifically seeing the video of him washing Jordans. Was he not? I don't remember them saying they found blood on the sneakers or anything like that, because I remember him literally washing Jordans that look resemblance to hers.
Something bought you?
Elders bought me. Now look at the next one. After elders bought me, talking about the elders bought me. Remember, this is after her saying Mason asshole. Elders bought me. So remember, she's talking about the old white people that bought her. Remember, so the old white, the white people that pretty much were at the airport, the white dealers, right? Elders bought me. Now, when I hear elders bought me, I'm also thinking about, like I said, the satanic ritual that was actually done on her with her being cut up in the way she was. Now, I heard Liam, you. Now, every time I see this Liam part, remember, this is the second reading where Liam Payne came up. I'm thinking that Drake had him do something very similar, and Liam was going to expose something. And because Liam was going to expose something, that was the last time you saw Liam. I think Liam had actually been forced to do something that he didn't want to do that was similar to what happened to Celeste.
Who murdered you?
They filmed her being raped. David did it. Heard it plain as David did it.
How many people?
I was a sacrifice. More confirmation of her being a sacrifice ritual, unfortunately.
People hurt you? How many people hurt you? Did they film it? Did they film your demise? Is there a videotape?
You arrest him now.
Lovesick.
Now, when I saw the loves it part, I wasn't thinking about her saying she loved it. I was thinking in terms of the way he's going about actually leaving the clues behind and things of that nature. I'm thinking more along the lines of, he is, leaving the clues behind, as well as, the videos and things like that, the Discord, the Reddit, all the stuff, all that shit that's adding up to what actually happened and him planning out what actually happened. I think he's getting a kick out of all this. That's why he hasn't said anything. I think he gets a kick out of the attention, because now it seems like everything that he's done in all his videos have actually come to life. That's what it sounds like to me. The loves it part is that David loves it.
I know you thought you loved them, baby. I know you thought you did. That's not love, baby. I promise you.
Now, I know that certain words are said in certain emotions. So, like, the innocence was speaking with the he charmed me, and then all of a sudden, her dark, depressed side spoke out and said, brutal attack.
How many people were with you when you died?
5. Remember, that was the first reading, too, where they said 5 people were involved. And remember, before, it was described as 5 people had knives cutting her up. It's so fucked up. This is so fucked. I hate how this even was. Yeah, and then we saw romantic homicide. That video literally had a suitcase full of bloody knives.
Did I hear 5? Did I hear 5? Friends? 5 friends? Holy crap. Just information. Just scared of information. I'm not scared of you.
Kidney took. Remember before we saw with Selena Gomez?
I know you were very scared. I'm so sorry you went through that. I'm so sorry.
Prophetic. You see the word again, Selena. What the fuck? This is too deep.
I'm assuming you probably didn't have the best relationship.
She's involved in it. Talking about Selena, she's involved in it.
With your mom?
And her boyfriend. We know who the boyfriend is. This, like I said, this is the second reading where Selena and Benny have come up.
Her boyfriend. Oh, geez. Honey, baby. Oh. Honey, you weren't of age. That's not love, I promise you. I'm not trying to be mean. You were a baby. Celeste, they found her, yeah. Where's the rest of her body, Vinay?
Incinerated.
Vinny, where's the rest of her body? Whoa. Vinay?
If you're listening with headphones on, you can tell the energy.
It's okay. Gather your energy, it's okay. Celeste, were you pregnant? Were you?
It says I killed her baby. Swayze World, what's going on? Yes, it's actually very incredible. Candace Starr is actually very known in the practice. She's been around for a couple years now. Trust me, I only go to the credible sources when it comes to these things.
Were you pregnant, Celeste? Was there any rituals performed on you?
Look at that, all this planned. All this was planned.
There was?
Oh, trust me, I understand.
Did I just hear? Did I just hear kidney? Were any of your organs taken? Who took? What did they take? What? You're doing amazing. Do you have any messages for the world?
Illuminati.
And who did this?
All Mason. They have a lot.
What are the other people's name that did this to you?
So you've heard already, Illuminati, All Mason. And she keeps bringing up the kidney that they took pretty much fit Selena. So it sounds like Selena had some complications, and people were pointing out before from the channeling that there was a recent live stream. I still haven't found the footage of it yet. On Kai Cenat, she had dropped off Benny Blanco and then she left. She didn't stay at all. And people were saying that she noticeably was like limping over and hunched over. She pretty much couldn't really function. And this is, like I said, around the same exact time that Celeste's body was found. So, real quick. In fact, I'll let this finish for her.
Sins. Celeste, I will be back, baby. I will be back for you, okay? Thank you, Vinny. Thank you, Kanika. Thank you, Celeste. Oh my God. I know you're going to be like, why did you stop it? Why did you stop it?
I mean, it's understandable. It's understandable because that type of energy you can't necessarily just keep around like that for quite a long time. You have to, and she has to gather all that information. She pretty much has to sit there for hours and try to make out exactly what was even being said. I want to look up real quick. Selena Gomez, Kai. Because it was very, very recent. Okay. So is this the original one? What was 13 days ago? The 12th, right? I think there was one that came up on the 10th too, but I'm sorry if that creeped you out, Swayze. I'm sorry if that creeped you out, brother. I'm sorry. Trust me, it did. It kind of did when I first heard it too. The Afterlife Machine. As you can see here, this was 13 days ago. This particular live stream right here, where you can see she's visibly in bedclothes. And Benny Blanco is there.
Confetti. We hit 400,000 subs.
People were saying she was visibly hunched over on this side right here.
It was crazy, yeah. It was 400,000 subs today. Oh my God. So we give away PCs every single day. So every guest that comes here, I have them sign it.
And we get the PC?
Yeah. No, Benny. we give it away.
How much is a PC worth?
Like $5,000. Oh look.
You want me to sign it right now?
Yeah.
He goes, you're gonna want me to sign.
Yeah, here.
It's gonna be bedtime.
Go ahead.
Now, this sweater right here is very telling as well. As you can see, the Eye of Horus, the Illuminati eye, on the back of her sweater.
Oh my God, we're
And
here.
she noticeably keeps facing the camera with it. To her back to the camera with it.
Dear.
Go ahead.
Oh, so wait, I wanted to tell you, I got this for your sister. It's all the new, like, rare.
Can Kaya come upstairs real quick?
Yeah, bring her up.
Kaya, come upstairs real quick. Oh my God.
Should we surprise her? Does she know she's here?
No. Okay, you surprise her. Don't tell Kaya that she's here. Don't tell Kaya.
Move it up a little bit.
Oh, it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night. Because it's y'all two. It's y'all two.
We're not long night kind of guys, FYI. We're gonna be a long.
Wait, whose signature is this?
Mine.
Of course it is.
Cool, right?
Yeah. Wait, what is that?
LD.
Oh. Everybody say bye.
I'm always like,
She's dropping Benny off.
I love you.
W Selena.
All right, don't get too close, Jeff. Bye, love you.
Bye.
You like our theme song?
Yes.
Did you know that?
No. Well, they told me.
So, wasn't even there for barely 2 minutes. People were saying, like I said, she was a little bit noticeably hunched over, like she was favoring things. I'm surprised Selena is this dark. Well, the thing is, I am too, but then you can say the same thing about a Beyonce. You can say the same thing about a lot of different pop stars, right? You wouldn't necessarily think that they're involved in this lifestyle, but a lot of them don't really have a choice. What happened with Selena is very similar to what happened with Britney, except Selena didn't go as crazy. Because she was almost put into a conservatorship. She technically is with Benny. Benny is pretty much her handler. Which is why things would happen the way they happen. And that's what they pretty much were trying to say what happened with the kidney transplant. This is pretty much how Benny eats. Is that they were trying to say that Benny eats through the trafficking. and how you can kind of confirm those kind of things allegedly would be, again, he's best friends with Scooter Braun. Scooter Braun's best friends with Drake. Remember how they said before things were all connected between Drake, Scooter Braun, and Benny Blanco and Liam Payne? Remember I said before it felt like Liam Payne was forced to do something by Drake, and I know Drake is very good friends with Scooter Braun. Like I said, Scooter Braun's very good friends with Benny Blanco. So I'm wondering now if there is some type of connection with what happened in 2017 to what happened to Celeste. If that's what they are saying. She's a Scorpio. Beyonce is a Scorpio. I'm not surprised with her. Okay. I mean, like I said, it's just certain celebrities. It's definitely certain celebrities. Did you guys know that he also has a statue of him? This is a statue that they made of him in Houston, Texas. Spotify did it. It says the Fountain of Fields, made in collaboration with Spotify's in-house creative team, launched in late August as part of Spotify's Bummer Summer campaign playlist celebrating David as one of music's most iconic and emotive artists. We cast a statue in bronze and tears to celebrate all of the artists who put us in our feels. Will you get a load of that? He has his own statue in Texas. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because I couldn't find the TikTok again. I think they took it down. They took it down. There was somebody saying that he had I think Black had seen it too, because he had pointed it out. There was a TikTok talking about he had possibly something to do with the murders in Texas. Now, that's allegedly, of course. But we're talking about some of the 764 murders that were happening in Texas with a lot of missing kids and things like that. Now, some people don't know about the 764 murders that were happening in Texas in 2023. Now, it's a little bit hard for him to have done that, considering his record blew up in 2022. I don't think he would necessarily have anything to, I don't know if he would have anything to do with those murders, except for the fact that people were saying that there were other victims as far as little girls that he was talking to. Before we pulled up the different Reddits of literally different people in the neighborhood were saying, or I should say, different people in the neighborhood that knew about him having different little girls that he was coming to pick up and take them to LA. I think it was Ponzalo that even said that, he, a friend of his little sister took to LA to fuck and she was underage. Not even talking about Celeste, just different girl. You see what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like it was just Celeste. It was a different set of girls that, he was known for doing that for. And I'm wondering now if what they're saying is true. Listen to what Surprise Witness had to say, for example. They found another body today or yesterday. I still have to find that too, because I keep hearing about that. Listen to what Surprise Witness had to say about the 764 murders.
Blackmailing him, all of this stuff. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car.
Okay, guys. Okay, everybody. Let's pull it together. He had no friends. He was making friends online. We found out yesterday he got pulled into Al Gore content. Al Gore is what we call it over here. Early on, he was watching videos where apparently it was Al Gore type material where people they had a head at the beginning of the video, and then by the end of it, maybe they no longer did, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to keep it above board here, okay? He was watching end of life videos online to desensitize himself from empathy to the wrong things. We learned that yesterday. So this is going to be a long live, girl. I mean, we're already 2.5 hours in. I got a lot more to talk about, so just buckle up. But I would be remiss not to show you an article that I came across just because it's okay. So this is an article for like a parent's safety app website. I don't know what they're doing. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't know what they're doing over there. I can't speak for this organization, but this is where the article is. And the only reason I'm doing this like this is because y'all have kids and I'm trying to help y'all keep them safe. I don't have kids, so this ain't going to affect my kids. All right. I'm telling y'all this. I'm spending all this time literally for you to keep your children safe.
Do not pay your next car insurance bill.
Don't
Repeat.
listen to that part.
Do not.
Don't listen to that part. Make sure you pay it.
I am showing it to you, okay? This is TrueMe.com, user 1. So it starts off, the name of this article is The Dangers of Discord, or The Dark Side of Discord, Exposing Group 764, okay?
Now, before she exposes 764, let me give her a quick little introduction to that. All right? Quick little introduction to that. So this comes from ABC News, right? 2023 article. It says FBI online group 764 preying on children. The FBI has an urgent warning for parents. A terrifying criminal network of people is targeting children online in new and disturbing ways. They're calling it the number one digital threat against kids. The number one digital threat against kids. The FBI is tracking a sharp increase in activity from a loose network of people called 764. It's called 764 because it's a portion of the zip code in Texas where the disturbing acts first started. Federal agents say predators are finding children online on social media apps and gaming sites. You heard what it said? Social media apps and gaming sites. So think about Discord. Think about Fortnite. Fortnite is where Celeste met David when she was 10 years old. I repeat, Celeste was 10 years old when she met David playing Fortnite. Okay? David was about 15 at the time. I'm going to say this again. Dave was 15 at the time playing Fortnite when he met Celeste. They're befriending them and then extorting them. The ages of the target children range from 9 to 17. Remember, Celeste was 10. 9 to 17. Agents say the kids are often coerced into performing violent and sexual acts and recording them. The pictures and videos are often used to blackmail the child. These cases are horrible to even talk about, said David Scott of the FBI's Counterterrorism Division. The FBI has more than 250 open investigations tied to the criminal network reaching every division of the country. They're really just trying to own these individuals and to have power over them, Scott said. So they'll try to blackmail them basically through the child sex abuse material. Police in Vernon, Connecticut recently investigated a case involving a 17-year-old victim. They'll build bonds with these people and encourage them to take these sexually explicit videos and share them. They'll use that to extort them, said Detective Thomas Van Tassel on the Vernon, Connecticut Police Department. Federal authorities say the network was also tied to the actions of a man who was arrested in Queens in 2023. His name was Angel Almeida. So this is a nationwide thing. Investigators say Almeida posted pictures with a flag representing a Satanist group known for embracing neo-Nazism. Court documents state he posted what appeared to be a child gagged and bound, along with pictures depicting violence against animals. Federal investigators said he also enticed a minor to engage in sex acts for the purpose of producing videos. Almeida is in custody right now at a federal medical facility where he awaits to stand trial. He has pleaded not guilty of the charges. Fuck him. Eyewitness News went to the Regional Computer Forensic Lab in Trenton, New Jersey to see where many similar investigations. It's where forensics, I would say the digital threat is the biggest threat to children, said Detective Sergeant Christopher, or just Chris Cam. They summarized the data in a report to make it easier for the detectives to analyze the pictures or whatever. So your child is living an entire second life on that phone. The biggest problem we see is that a lot of these children do not know they're in trouble until it's too late. We already know that part. Okay, so I'm going to let her read the dark side of the web part of things.
Am I saying David's in 764? No. The reason I'm showing you this is because this is how it works when children are getting groomed online, or one of the ways. Okay, so user 1 says, you don't want that photo posted everywhere, right? User 2, of course I don't. But I don't want to cut sign for you either. Do you really think you're given a choice? Said user 1. User 2, who's a child, okay, but like, why me? I didn't do anything. User 1, that the predator, you're going to do something for me.
See how she's acting out the forms of the blackmail pretty much.
Blanking or not. The child, can't you find someone else, please? The predator, no. The dark side of Discord, exposing Group 764. Discord, a once niche platform for gamers, has exploded in popularity, becoming a vibrant online hub for millions. Yet, amidst the communities dedicated to gaming, art, and shared interests, a sinister underbelly thrives. Child extortion groups like 764 exploit the platform's features to target vulnerable youth, creating a chilling reality for online safety. Emerging in 2021, Group 764 was a particularly insidious group, founded by a manipulative 16-year-old boy from Texas. Okay. In 2021, guess who else was 16 years old and in Texas? In 2021, guess who else was 16 years old in Texas on Discord making friends because he was an anime nerd? If you said David, that was correct. That was the right answer. Yes. So we have this other 16-year-old boy in Texas named Bradley Cadenhead. Cadenhead used different screen names, Felix, Brad, while running this group. He quickly gained a web following as the leader of a group described in court filings as a cult, fixated on sadistic acts. According to the Washington Post, he created the first Discord server for 764 in January 2021, according to the company's spokeswoman. Discord servers are meeting spaces where members gather to communicate with each other by text, voice, and video. The person who creates the server controls who is admitted to it and who moderates its content. 2 years later, 2023, a public warning was issued by the FBI stating that the group was deliberately targeting minor victims on publicly available messaging platforms to extort them into recording. Okay, listen to this, y'all. To extort the children into recording and live streaming acts of self-harm and producing terrible, illegal material. Their tactics were especially cruel, preying on the insecurities and vulnerabilities of young people. A how-to guide circulated on Telegram offering tips on how to groom little girls who are emotionally weak and vulnerable. The guide on Telegram advised users to gain her trust, make her feel comfortable, make her want to harm herself for you, get to her emotions and make it seem like you're the only person she could ever need in her life. Target girls who have eating problems or mental health issue diagnoses. Okay, I'm kind of doing for, terms and conditions, but y'all can read it. Experts believe the group may have been inspired by other equally depraved similar communities festering online. A report by the Global Network on Extremism and Technology, GNET, Chillingly noted, 764 took inspiration from another Discord community. Okay. So again, that's why I say it doesn't matter if it's called 764. They learn and then start their own. It's an MLM of death cult. All right. Took inspiration from another Discord, quote, community known as cult. See how it's spelled with a V, just like David is spelled with a V. Now, importantly, this V here is for a U. Okay. And the V in David's name is for an A. This community Discord known as cult inspired 764. It forced children to perform acts on camera. The impact of the group transcended the digital realm, inflicted deep emotional trauma and scarring experiences on their victims. One of them was a 14-year-old girl from Oklahoma who was persuaded by the lead guy, as 764, to send a photograph of herself.
Remember I said this is nationwide that this happens.
Which was illegal. Cadenhead, the 764 leader, immediately used it as leverage to get the young girl to live stream degrading and violent acts. So as soon as he got that one picture, that's it.
Actors, we can make nationwide this happens. This 764 group pretty much has been doing this since 20. Now, supposedly the leaders of them have been arrested recently. The leaders have been arrested recently, but it's just the ages, of, let's just say this is the time frame of, like I said, 2023, between 2023 and now. Okay. David, of course, we're not saying that David was involved in the 764 group, but there's reason to speculate that he could have had something to do with the ring of the 764 group, considering how he met Celeste. There's something to say that he has certain practices that are very similar to the 764 group. Okay? Little things like even how she pointed out with how Colt was spelled versus how David's name is spelled, right? You see how his name has the 4 in it, but it has actually, remember I showed you before, it's the symbol of anarchy. And then it has the Colt sign. Their Colt in it is purposely spelled with the V in it when it's actually a U. Certain little satanic what do you call it? Annotations, I guess you could say. Little satanic annotations, yes. Certain little things like that you have to recognize, because that's also symbolism. That's also occult symbolism that you can that stands out right in front of you, that you can identify these things with, and identify these groups with, I should say. So again, not saying that he had anything to do with 764 allegedly, but there's ways you can speculate that he has these same practices and could be also within the network of what they were doing. Remember, this is a $150 billion business, human trafficking. So just because 764 got caught does not mean that there isn't a larger network that is still operating the same exact way to have this still done. Jeffrey Epstein was one of many, but he was one of the big Pied Pipers of what you could say 764 is even embodied about. You see what I'm saying? It's all a big network that is connected. That's why I felt the need to show the 764, because that's just one affiliation within the network that you can now string a pipeline to. You see what I'm saying? You can easily connect. Okay, well, if there's a 764 network, what other networks are there that got Celeste Rivas in? You see what I'm saying? What network was she tied to? It doesn't have to be the 764 one. It could be something else that was pretty much drawing David and Celeste together. You see what I'm saying? It's easily something else as far as another network that was operating very similar to 764. Now, really quick, want to debunk something. So this was done in June 5th, 2025. Supposedly, this particular performance here, people are saying he was very emotional at and crying, and they were saying that it was because of Celeste. Now, Celeste might not have been dead in June, people are saying that she possibly was already dead in June, which would also make sense considering when was she pregnant? So March, April, May, June, July, August, September, November, December. That'll be 9 months in December. So wait, no, she was pregnant in June, right? She was supposed to be, yes, she was pregnant in June of 2024. Baby wasn't due until March the next year. So supposedly the baby and Celeste would have been gone by June. And that's another reason why I wanted to look at this, because if the baby and Celeste were actually dead by June, this would explain why he was so emotional singing this song here, Afterlife, for the first time live in Houston on tour.
I'll love you from the after. I'll love you from
Now, I can't play too much of that. Of course, it's copyright and shit. But again, I just wanted to debunk because people were making it look like he did that recently, like this month of September or something like that. And this actually happened back in June. But to bring further context to that, if you think about it, if he done it back in June, if we're doing the actual timeline of things, Celeste possibly could have been dead by this time. Because, again, the baby was also due in March of 2025. And as you heard the spirit say, the baby and her was killed. And it sounds like simultaneously. Now, how we also know, because he was on tour, right? He's been on tour this whole time. But there was also a recent interview he did in New York where he had Celeste beads on.
And dies.
Hold on. Wrong one.
I was like writing all these heartbreaking breakup.
I'm going to pause it right here. Now, this interview was done just 10 days ago. Let's just say it was just released 10 days ago. Whether or not he did the interview 10 days ago, you can say the editor probably did it maybe 2-3 days beforehand. So let's say maybe 15 days ago, right? We're on September 25th. That means he was somewhere around New York around early September. Do I still have the screenshot? Let me see. Do I still have that screenshot of the timeline? Yeah, this timeline right here. Okay, so when would he have been in New York? Okay, so let me see. He's been on tour this whole time from July to September. I don't see any tour dates that would have had him in New York except, let me see. 2 shows and okay, so between August 8th and 10th, he had 2 shows in Texas. He had a show in Texas August 8th and 9th. There it is. There it is. 2 shows in New York. August 19th. Between August 19th and August 20th, he had 2 shows in New York, which would have been the time that he did this interview here. And as you can see, Celeste beads is on. Right there, plain as day, Celeste beads is on his wrist.
I was like writing all these heartbreaking breakup songs before I even entered my first relationship. And then once that actually happened, I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of spoke the heartbreak into existence, kind of, you know?
Now, I can tell he's definitely wearing a wig with the color that he's wearing.
Be real with me.
Love shouldn't be transactional.
Real.
Love shouldn't be transactional, is the first thing he says. Now, let's also think about what we just learned as far as the $10,000 that he was paying.
Why?
I feel like most of the time, especially like nowadays, people get into a relationship, or we use the term situationship a lot now, where you have to give something to gain something. And I feel like when love is real, it's both parties participating in love. And that's why I love the term falling into it, because it's like sometimes you don't expect it. It could be like super rushed. And people like to take the term, I'm taking it slow, or we should take it slow. It's like love doesn't dictate the timing of it. You can't really predetermine what that feeling is to you. And I think when people try to plan too much or overcompensate for their lack of emotional intelligence, they kind of make a bunch of excuses for love, and then it's just like more infatuation than the actual emotion. So the way I like to view love is that we're participating in this ceremonious matrimony together, and we should kind of approach it with the journey aspect to it and be in it for like the long run, and not keep expecting and expecting and expecting from someone. If you truly love them, there's no expectation. It's just that's your person, you know?
How did you realize that?
Just years and years of reading and experiencing it, like both sides of the spectrum, having the rushed part and then the planned out part. And the planned never goes as planned. It's like, you know, you expect, and then the over expectations kind of ruins your perception of what reality is sometimes. And it's like, oh, this didn't go according to plan. I guess it's all ruined now.
This thing didn't go according to plan. I guess it's all ruined now. Now, one last thing. One last thing here. Show you this again. This little chart. Remember, right? He did this interview somewhere between August 19th and the 20th. Her last message was July 30th. Remember what I showed you before? June 5th was when he did that concert, or when they posted, I should say. So around June, remember her last message was July 30th. Last Discord message. So more than likely, she couldn't have been dead already. Or could she have been? Could the baby, I should say, have been already? The baby already deceased the child, and she was still alive. But I'm wondering now, because of the message that I seen before about, I should take a picture of that one as well, saying he stopped in La Mesa, which is near San Diego and San Francisco. They're saying he stopped at the La Mesa Motel. Now, if he actually stopped at the La Mesa Motel, why didn't I do this? If he stopped at the La Mesa Motel, right, then that would mean that he possibly, quite possibly, was at the motel when he filmed that weird TikTok. Because I'm wondering now, because I started to look at it, I was like, the La Mesa Hotel. The motel, I should say. The La Mesa Motel. Let me show you the La Mesa Motel, right? Yes, pregnant Celeste would have been hard to miss unless you were hiding her in big clothing. Remember, she was always seen wearing a big hoodie. So that's another sign of pregnancy, right? Of a young girl being pregnant. the last time you seen her on these lives was wearing big black hoodies. Very big oversized hoodies. You can hide pregnancy in that. So this is the La Mesa Motel, right? Now why am I showing this?
Hello again, Huz. My friend Brian
This is his Where's the Huz page, right? But this is where we also saw this eerie TikTok that didn't have any sound to it. And I said to myself, that's across the street from a motel. And he has no sound in this. Right? He has absolutely no sound in this. It's across the street from a motel. He shows us a warehouse. Okay? Again, see La Mesa Motel. Does that not look like it's outside of the La Mesa Hotel, the motel? Wish I could find the joint again where I just seen the timeline again. Let me see if I can find it real quick. If not, it's all right. This is the second Reddit pretty much that they've had on him. I was digging through it earlier, and someone had put through another timeline of where exactly he was. No, it wasn't that far down. It wasn't that far down. It wasn't that far down. But they put together another timeline. Pretty much of his whereabouts again. Yeah. Okay. I said I might not find it because it was deep down in the rabbit hole. It was deep on down in the rabbit hole. But like I said, they pretty much had pinpointed him being at the La Mesa Motel. And like I said, that looked like it was outside of the La Mesa Motel. Let me just put that in too. This the other one? Oh, there it is. This is what I was looking for. This one right here. This one right here. And what date was that? There we go. August 7th. August 7th. See? August 7th. Video of La Mesa must have been recorded. David posts creepy video August 13th on alt of La Mesa Motel, Santa Rosa. See? That's the video we're looking at, August 13th. Now, if I'm thinking right, let's see, where's that other timeline video I just had? I'm thinking now about this one. Make sure I do right here. I'm thinking now about this one, August 13th, right? Saying for some reason now, saying between August 10th and 11th he was traveling. But look, between instead of just right, August was it 6th he was in Arizona. And he's traveling on August 10th. Now he got in Florida on the 13th. So he posted the video after he got to Florida. Because he was still in Cali early August. Just trying to make sense of when possibly, like I said, this Celeste girl could have been killed. It's been a wild goose chase, y'all. It's been a wild goose chase. But that's pretty much all I have for this evening. I do have to get myself to bed. I have to be up at 4:30. Rest in peace to Celeste. We will have more things to talk about the next time you guys see me. We'll try to have some jokes and laugh to bring up the energy and the spirit off of the things that, have been transpiring the past couple of weeks. There's still been a lot of shit that's been happening. Again, if you guys would like to donate, the Cash App is on the bottom hand left of the screen. If you guys would like to donate, anything and everything is accepted. It doesn't matter if it's $5, $10. Doesn't matter what it is. I would greatly appreciate if you guys would donate to the Cash App. I'm going to get on out of here and take myself to bed. As always, I love being with you guys. Love your loved ones. Take care of your loved ones. Also watch. Thank you, Fantamos Fanto. I greatly appreciate that as well. Thank you. I appreciate that. Nice live. Yes. Like I said, next time we'll have some better energy. We'll have our spirits up for next one. Thank you for tuning in, Fantamos Fanto, Black Lion, New Eyes, Swayze World, Glow Taylor, God Body Child, Black Lion, Scar Child, New Eyes. Thank you guys for tuning in. I greatly appreciate y'all. I will see y'all in the next one. And we will definitely, like I said, have our spirits up. Once again, rest in peace to Celeste and all the victims that unfortunately go through this.
The LA County Medical Examiner identified 15-year-old Celeste Rivas as the person who was found dead at a Hollywood tow yard in early September in the trunk of singer David's Tesla. The medical examiner is still trying to determine the cause of her death. Family first reported Rivas missing in the Lake Elsinore area in April of last year. Her mom posted this flyer on Facebook asking people to share it. She said she was desperate and worried for her daughter who had gone missing. After learning news of Celeste's death, family returned to their Lake Elsinore home today. Her brother told NBC News that he was aware that his sister knew the singer David. Matthew Rivas said when she went missing, she was on her way to see a movie with him, but never returned. Matthew went on to say, quote, she would leave with him and he would drop her off in that same vehicle that was supposedly abandoned. After the teen was found dead in the Tesla, his spokesperson told NBC4 Investigates, quote, David has been informed about what's happened, and although he is still out on tour, he is fully cooperating with the authorities. As of now, the LAPD is not saying any crime has been committed. In a statement today, the department said, quote, at this time, the LAPD does not have a crime classification from the coroner as to the mode or manner of death. Thus, we do not have any suspect information.
bullshit.